The observation deck of the Galactic Research Station hummed with the usual sounds of advanced technology. Through the massive viewing window, stars stretched across the darkness like scattered diamonds. Inside the climate-controlled habitat section, something unusual was happening. Marcus Chen sat in what the other species called the recreation pod. His eyes were closed. His breathing had slowed to a gentle rhythm. His body was completely still, slumped against the padded wall in a position that would have alarmed most beings in the galaxy. The Vrix cubs noticed him first. These small, furry creatures with 6 legs and oversized eyes had been playing near the observation area when they spotted the human. The eldest cub, named Tika, froze mid-bounce. Her siblings bumped into her from behind. "Is the human broken?" whispered Miko, the smallest of the group. His whiskers trembled with concern. Tika approached slowly, her paws making soft padding sounds on the metal floor. The other 3 cubs followed, forming a cautious line behind their sister. They had only been on the station for 2 weeks, and humans were still new to them. Fascinating, but new. "Should we call the medical team?" asked Rixa, whose orange fur stood on end with worry. "Mother told us humans are fragile." "But he's still breathing," Tika observed, tilting her head to one side. "See? His chest moves up and down." The cubs formed a semicircle around Marcus, studying him with the intensity only young beings can muster. His face appeared relaxed, almost serene. One corner of his mouth curved upward slightly, as if he were enjoying something pleasant. This confused the cubs even more. "Maybe he's sick," suggested Poco, the chubby cub who always assumed the worst. "When my cousin got the spinning sickness, she closed her eyes too. But she didn't look happy about it." At that moment, Station Commander Vreet walked past, her tall reptilian frame towering over the cubs. She noticed the small gathering and approached with curiosity. "What are you younglings doing?" she asked in her clicking voice. "The human stopped working," Tika announced, pointing with one paw. "But he looks peaceful. We don't understand." Commander Vreet's eyes widened, and she rushed forward. She had served with humans before and recognized the situation immediately, but she couldn't help the small surge of concern that came first. After a quick scan with her wrist device, she relaxed. "Oh, cubs," she said with what might have been a smile on her scaled face. "The human isn't broken. He's napping." "Napping?" all 4 cubs asked in unison, their voices filled with confusion. "It's a human thing," Vreet explained, settling down to their level. "Humans are one of the few species that enter voluntary rest states during their active periods." "But why?" Miko asked. "Doesn't sleep happen in the dark time? In the sleeping chambers?" Before Vreet could answer, Marcus stirred. His eyes opened slowly, and he blinked several times, focusing on the collection of faces surrounding him. He stretched his arms above his head and yawned widely. "Oh, hey, everyone," he said with a drowsy smile. "Sorry, did I doze off?" The cubs jumped back as if he had exploded, their fur puffed out, and they chattered nervously among themselves. "You were in stasis," Tika exclaimed. "Voluntary stasis, during work time." Marcus chuckled and rubbed his eyes. "Not stasis, little one. Just a quick nap. 20 minutes, maybe? I had a long shift last night recalibrating the energy shields." "But you looked so peaceful," Rixa said softly, approaching again with less fear. "Are all humans able to do this? Enter rest without dying?" "Dying?" Marcus sat up straighter, now fully alert. No. A nap is just a short sleep. It refreshes the mind, makes you sharper for the rest of the day." Commander Vreet nodded. "It's true. Humans have this remarkable ability. Most species require specific conditions for sleep. Darkness, certain temperatures, hormone cycles. But humans can simply decide to rest almost anywhere." Poco moved closer, his nose twitching. "You just decided to stop being awake?" "Pretty much," Marcus confirmed. My body was tired. I found a comfortable spot. I closed my eyes and let myself drift for a bit. It's actually really nice. The cubs exchanged glances. This concept seemed to shake their understanding of biology. Can you teach us? Miko asked, suddenly, his eyes bright with excitement. Marcus smiled, but Vreet placed a gentle claw on the small cub's head. I'm afraid not, little one. Vrick's physiology doesn't work that way. Your brains require continuous input during waking hours or you become disoriented. Most species are like that, Marcus added gently. Humans are kind of weird in this regard. We're actually one of the few beings that can do this safely. Tika sat down on her haunches, clearly deep in thought. On our homework, we learned that humans come from a dangerous world, one with many predators. That's right, Marcus confirmed. Then why would your species evolve to just stop being aware? Tika asked. Wouldn't that be dangerous? What if something tried to eat you? Commander Vreet made a clicking sound of approval. An excellent question, young Tika. Perhaps the human can explain? Marcus leaned forward, clearly enjoying the teaching moment. Well, humans didn't always live safely. A long time ago, we had to be very careful about when and where we slept. But here's the thing. Our ancestors learned that short rest periods during the day actually made them better at surviving. How? All four cubs asked together. Think about it, Marcus continued. If you're hunting or gathering food all day under a hot sun, your body gets tired. Your mind gets slow. You make mistakes. But if you can rest for just a little while, maybe during the hottest part of the day when prey animals also rest, you recover energy. Your brain clears. You become sharp again. So napping made you better hunters? Rixa asked. Exactly, and it wasn't just hunters. Farmers would nap during the heat of midday. Warriors would rest before battles. Parents would nap when their babies napped. It became part of how we functioned. Poco tilted his head so far it almost touched the ground. But you don't hunt anymore. Why still nap? Marcus laughed. Because it still works. Even here on a space station, sometimes my brain gets tired. I've been calculating jump coordinates for 3 hours straight this morning. My eyes were crossing. A 20-minute nap reset everything. Now I can work efficiently for hours more. The human makes a valid point, Vreet added. Since we started including designated nap times in human work schedules, their productivity increased by 18%. Error rates dropped significantly. The cubs processed this information with visible effort. Their ears twitched, their whiskers quivered, and their tails swished back and forth. Can we watch you do it again? Miko asked suddenly. The napping? Marcus raised an eyebrow. Watch me sleep? That's a little odd, but sure, I guess. He settled back against the wall, closed his eyes, and within minutes, his breathing deepened again. The cubs watched in absolute fascination. Look at his face, Tika whispered. So peaceful. His body just accepted it, Rixa added. No fight. No resistance. I wish we could do that, Poco sighed. They sat in silence for several minutes, observing the resting human as if he were the most interesting exhibit in a museum. Other crew members passed by, some smiling at the scene, others pausing to see what had captured the cubs' attention so completely. When Marcus woke again, the cubs bombarded him with questions. Do you dream during naps? Sometimes. What if there's an emergency? I wake up. Humans are still alert to danger sounds even while resting. Does everyone on your planet nap? Not everyone, but many people do. Some cultures even built it into their daily schedules. Something called a siesta. Does it feel good? Marcus paused at this question, considering. Yeah, actually, it really does. There's something wonderful about letting go for a little while, knowing you'll wake up feeling better. Tika moved very close to Marcus, looking up at his face with her large, expressive eyes. I think I understand now. You look peaceful because you feel safe. Safe enough to just stop, even in the middle of the day, even surrounded by other species. That must mean you trust us. Marcus felt something warm in his chest at the cub's insight. You know what? You're absolutely right, Tika. I do feel safe here. This station is my home now, and all of you are my friends. That's exactly why I can nap here. Humans are very strange, Miko declared, but he was smiling. Humans are remarkable, Commander Vreet corrected. They carry the ability to be both vigilant and restful, strong and vulnerable, complex and simple. It's one of many reasons they've become such valued members of the galactic community. Over the following days, the cubs became Marcus's unofficial nap guardians. Whenever he settled down for a rest, they would position themselves nearby, keeping watch with serious expressions on their small faces. They informed other crew members to be quiet. They redirected foot traffic. They took their job very seriously. We're protecting the human during his vulnerable time, Tika explained to anyone who asked. It's our duty. Marcus found it both touching and amusing. He tried to explain that he didn't need protection, that the station was perfectly safe, but the cubs insisted. You trust us, Poco said firmly. So we prove your right to trust us. Word spread throughout the station about the human who could nap anywhere and the cubs who guarded him. It became a symbol of the strange and beautiful friendships that formed in space, between species that had nothing in common except their desire to explore and understand the universe. One afternoon, as Marcus drifted into another brief nap in his favorite spot, he heard the cubs settling around him. He heard Tika whisper to her siblings, "Look how peaceful he looks. That's what trust looks like. That's what friendship looks like." And in that moment, before sleep took him, Marcus smiled, knowing that the strange human ability to nap had taught these young aliens something far more important than biology. It had taught them about vulnerability, trust, and the peaceful feeling of being safe among friends. The galaxy was vast and often dangerous, but in this small corner of it, a human could close his eyes and rest, knowing that 4 small cubs would watch over him, marveling at the simple act of peace.